My wife's cousin grabbed the microphone at my wife's funeral and announced she was carrying my child. I looked at her, 8 months pregnant, and said, "Interesting, tell everyone when we conceived." 4 months ago, when Sarah was too pregnant to satisfy you. The math was fascinating since I'd been deployed in South Korea for 6 months, returning only for the birth. My military commander was literally at the funeral. He stood up. "Ma'am, that's impossible. Lieutenant Morrison was on base in Seoul. I personally denied his leave requests to visit his pregnant wife." Rita's face went white. He snuck back. "Weekends. It's a 15-hour flight each way," Commander Stevens said slowly. "There are no weekend trips to Ohio from Seoul." But Rita doubled down, sobbing dramatically. "Sarah knew. She gave us her blessing. She wanted me to raise all the children together." My mother-in-law Helen, destroyed by grief, stood up shaking. "You're saying my daughter who died 3 days ago knew about an affair that happened while her husband was deployed overseas?" That's when my sister-in-law Amy pulled out her phone. "Rita, you were in Cabo 4 months ago. I have the receipts. You sent me daily bikini photos with your boyfriend Marcus. Marcus, who was sitting 3 rows back with his wife, who was now staring at him with murder in her eyes. The priest actually stopped the service. Perhaps we should continue this outside." But Rita wasn't done. She pulled out ultrasound photos. "DNA will prove it." "Great," I said. "Let's go to the hospital right now." We literally left my wife's funeral, the priest, my commander, 50 witnesses, and a funeral director who'd seen everything but not this, and went to the military hospital where I still had privileges. The doctor, confused why a funeral party was requesting an immediate prenatal paternity test, agreed after Commander Stevens explained. Rita, trapped by her own lie, had to consent. While waiting for results, the real story emerged. Rita had been telling everyone for months that I'd leave Sarah for her. She'd convinced Marcus's wife that their marriage problems were because Marcus was depressed about me stealing Rita. She'd borrowed $30,000 from various family members for our new life together. She'd even put a deposit on a house next to mine, telling the realtor she was my soon-to-be second wife and needed to be close for the children. The DNA results came back in 72 hours. The father was Marcus, obviously. But also, plot twist, Marcus wasn't the only possibility. Rita had been running a full scam. 4 different men thought they were the father. She'd collected money from all of them for baby expenses. Each thought they were having a secret affair that would become public after she left her abusive situation. But here's the truly sick part. She targeted me specifically after Sarah's diagnosis of preeclampsia, knowing Sarah might not survive childbirth. She'd been planning to swoop in as the grieving widower's comfort, already pregnant with someone else's baby I'd raise as my own. Week 2, the Air Force Office of Special Investigations got involved. Rita had been accessing the base illegally, using a fake military spouse ID she'd created with my information. She'd been shopping at the commissary, getting military discounts, and telling everyone she was my wife, while Sarah was alive, while I was deployed. She'd even attended spouse support groups, describing our relationship problems and how hard it was being pregnant while I was overseas. The actual military spouses were horrified to learn she was my cousin, not my wife, and that my actual wife had been dying from pregnancy complications. Month 2, Rita's boyfriend Marcus filed charges. She'd stolen his credit cards to fund her house deposit. His wife divorced him and testified that Rita had been blackmailing him with fake pregnancy photos for months before she got actually pregnant. The other 3 fathers came forward. One was her landlord, who she'd convinced she needed reduced rent for our baby. Another was her boss, who'd given her paid leave for a high-risk pregnancy that wasn't high risk. The third was a married pastor who'd been counseling her through her situation. Each thought they were the only one. Each had been giving her money. My wife's funeral finally happened 2 months later. A quiet service with just close family. Rita was in jail for fraud, identity theft, and stolen valor for the fake military ID. She gave birth in custody. Marcus's wife got full custody of the baby after Rita was declared unfit, and Marcus lost his parental rights. The wife named the baby Sarah, after my late wife, the only decent person in this whole mess. Last week, Rita sent me a letter from prison. We could have been happy together. I sent her back a photo of my late wife's grave with fresh flowers, where I go every Sunday with our 3 children.